Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. I'm here with Joseph Hughes of Contractor Dynamics today. How you doing, Joseph?
I'm doing excellent, Tim, man. Good to be here with you. I'm excited to dive in here.
Yes, sir. Well, we were just at the same conference, but today we're going to be talking about 3 Facebook ad mistakes and I guess stumbling blocks that people have with Facebook ads. Before we get into that, I want to say, how was Roofing Process Conference for you? You spoke there, right?
Yes, Roofing Process Conference was true to its name, really. What we saw was, in general, a lot of young companies, a lot of hungry people looking to learn, looking to build out processes, looking to build real brands and businesses. And yeah, we had a lot of good conversations. Did some breakout sessions. That was fun. That was cool. So overall, like we were very pleased with the event and the quality of people there, which is really what makes the event. So it was definitely a win for us for sure.
I would say this, like from my point. I mean, obviously, like I know Dimitri and like I'm rooting him on and stuff like that. But I really like. I thought about it. I'm like, I wish I was a salesperson for vendors at that show. The fact that there wasn't as many vendors as that compared to some of these other shows that I went to. I think top tier is like RoofCon and Roofing Process Conference. That's how I felt. I feel like I could really sell like a lot of vendors on that thing. Like if you're a vendor and you're not at Roofing Process, you should be, and RoofCon. Like those are the two best in my opinion. Man, they're good. They're really good. Like, and the speakers were good. It was a good vibe. Just everyone was cool.
Yeah, everyone's cool. Everyone's humble. Like there's no egos there. Really just a great atmosphere. Yeah. I mean, I think it was a perfect length. But I wish we had a little bit more time to like meet maybe another day to like meet like every company that attended there because
Yeah.
like most of the conversations we had were so good. I wanted to meet everyone and connect. So yeah, from a vendor perspective, it was great. I prefer the smaller events. Like, not that that was small, but like it's not like a gigantic like IRE. But I like those events where you can have those more intimate conversations with folks.
I think the tone was set when Dimitri's like everyone should talk to other people and no one's above anyone else and all that. I mean, it just kind of like it does set the tone when you're all together and somebody says that, and yeah, I like that a lot. Um, all right, so we're talking about Facebook ad mistakes. So I know, hey Joseph, I'm not a Facebook ad expert here, so I know I waste money on these things personally. I still do them because you got to be everywhere. But like for contractors in particular, what are some of the biggest mistakes people are making? And talk us through how to kind of navigate them.
Sure. Yeah. So, and hey, we wasted money last week on our Facebook ads too because we are making one of these mistakes, and I'm aware of it, and we're working on fixing it this week. So no one's perfect. This stuff is a work in progress, and I'm not above anyone here. But what we do as a company is we train roofing companies on how to do their own Facebook ads, and so all day, every day, that's what we're doing. I just got off one of our training calls where we were training our clients on how to analyze the data that they're getting from their ads. So the things that I'm sharing, these mistakes that I'm about to like go into, they are what we see over and over after working with hundreds of companies on implementing this stuff.
Hmm.
So these are pretty common, like no one's immune to them. And these are things that, like anything else with marketing or business, it's not a set it and forget it thing. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna launch a Facebook ad and we're good, man. Just make sure my phone is charged up because those leads are gonna be coming in like crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an ongoing process, just like sales training, just like improving your production, just marketing, your finances, any system of your business, it requires like consistent attention. So
You're telling me
not
you can't just do like a 3 month sales training thing and then all your sales woes are fixed forever?
Yeah, like there's a lot of great like on-site, sales trainers in the roofing industry, but like, and we do on-sites once in a while. Yeah, you can't just do that and be like, okay, check that box, we're trained up, we're good to go, right?
And even if
Yeah,
you do, people leave. That's another thing. Like you could have a person on your sales team leave, and then you got to retrain all from the get. I've invested a lot of money in people that left, man. it happens. So we all go through this a little bit. And so I like the mindset of like continual improvement all the time.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, exactly. So, where do you want me to start? Do you want me to dive into like,
Yeah, let's go with the first big kind of stumbling block here, or Facebook ad, I guess, mistake or stumbling block.
Okay, so let me frame this up first. I know I gave you a little context to like where this information and knowledge is coming from, because that's important, right? There's a lot of info out there. I want to make sure that we're getting, reliable information and knowledge. Um, the next step there is like, most people listening to this, watching this, have run Facebook ads before, and most people have not gotten the results they wanted. Maybe it just like, they were running their ads themselves. Maybe they're hiring a marketer or an agency that was not as good as Hook Agency to run their marketing, and they just didn't get the results that they expected. But if you're still listening to this, watching this, then you still believe in this stuff. So what happens a lot of time is the number one problem is that there are ads, like whether you're running them yourself or a marketer is running them on your behalf, like pumping out ads to people who have no idea who you are. And the problem there, it's low lead quality, right? There's any marketer, anyone can really go out and generate, 30 leads a month, 100 leads a month. Generating leads is not that difficult. It really is not, right? The tools are there, the knowledge is there. What is difficult is generating leads through your brand, which means generating leads from people that know who you are. They've seen your content. They appreciate that you might be a little bit different, a little bit better than the other roofing companies or contractors in your local area. And they are putting their info in on your ad or your website because they see some value. They want to work with you and not just any old roofer. So that's the challenge. So that the problem that people see, that we see a lot, is low quality leads, right? We got a quantity of leads. We're not able to get in touch with them. They don't know who we are. We're still getting price shopped. We're still losing out on jobs to lower, inferior contractors. And the solution there is to do brand building. And brand building can be like this mystical thing, like what really is a brand. Quite simply, like when it comes to Facebook ads, it's just getting people in your local market to know who you are. Just getting people to know that you exist, that you're there, that you can help them. And that type of brand building content can be any number of things. It can be sharing photos and videos of your projects, sharing reviews and testimonials, showing off what your team is up to, showing your market who your team members are, sharing content about your local community and your local community involvements, your work that you do with other contractors or other businesses in the area. All those things serve to get people to know who you are. And you can run brand awareness campaigns on Facebook and on Instagram to get people to know who you are. And it's pretty cheap to do that. So that is kind of the foundation. You want to do that brand building first to get people to know who you are. And then when you go out there with your offers, get a complimentary inspection or zero cost estimate, whatever it might be, then people are opting into those offers and giving you their contact info because they've already seen some of your content. And that makes a world of difference, right? We all know. Yeah, go ahead. Give me a break.
I was going to say, we had a little Freudian slip there about content, and I want to throw out here. What do you think the quality of the content, or let's say an ad, and it's what's in the ad, right? Like, because we can't just say, "Hi, our brand is this." We're quality and customer service driven contractor. We all do the same thing. We're this. How do you refresh that content on a regular basis? Because there's a little bit of something of like, there's a little bit of, what do you call it? Ad fatigue if you just did the same ad over and over and over again. So what role does that play in this whole thing? Do you usually, like, as you guys are working with marketing managers or whoever at a business, you have to probably coach them on like refreshing the ad content and the types of things that they're saying in these ads? What role does that play in the ad's ability to really make an impact?
The messaging is everything. The messaging, the words that we use, the video script that we use, the headlines. So it's all about connecting with the right person at the right time in the right place with the right message. And so, yeah, you can't go out there with like the free estimate, free quote, free inspection, contact us today, which is what most people are doing. And so, like Tim, you and I we're in offices here. So when we want to create content, we like go to an event or go to a conference, or we set up in the studio and we get creative, and that's the way that we create content, right?
Yeah.
But with contractors, like you already have the content. You're out there on jobs every week, if not every day, right? So you have it's simple, right? All you got to do is tell stories about your projects, right? So
Good.
the Brown family called us because they had this old roof that they were worried about it, and winter's coming. They want to make sure that it's good to go before winter, and they have a good, secure roof over their head. So we came out there and we gave them a few. We did a thorough inspection. We gave them a few options, and they went with this brand new GAF Timberline HDZ roof with a 30-year warranty. And now they have that peace of mind that they have that strong roof over their head. So like that's just off the cuff, very simple, like telling a story of the roof you did for the Brown family.
So I'm not as into the Facebook ad side, but as far as videos go, I've done a lot of videos with contractors, and I will say the two great starting places for these stories, and I really like you putting it that way. The stories are there. You're doing these jobs, or you're talking to people. Two great starting points. One, problem. Any problem that happens in your day-to-day, like, or a problem you're addressing from another contractor. Those are great stories, right? And I basically believe that's, I had two. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Definitely one is problems, and the other one is, anger. Weirdly, I'm just going to throw it out here. I know that like every once in a while I talk to contractors that are like, God, I cannot stand these other roofers don't know what they're doing. And they literally don't, and they're a little frustrated. I'm not telling you to make the content with anger. What I'm saying is that's a great starting point. It's a reminder of this. We're literally higher quality in this specific way. And that's what you need to start there and say, this specific way that we're higher quality. I think it's a good starting point. You can disagree with me too. I'm cool with that, but I find that whenever I'm talking to a contractor and they're a little bit like upset, I'm like, that's a piece of content, I'm not telling you to go out there and rant on Facebook and get all angry. I'm saying build a piece of content on that difference that you're noticing, that you're seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's two things that come to mind with that, Tim. I mean, like my mind goes in different directions with I can go down a rabbit hole, but like that is you could call it like the common enemy approach, right? So everyone's had a bad experience with a contractor, just like everyone's had a bad experience with a marketing person. So like you can call that out and be like, yeah, don't you hate like dealing with contractors that don't show up on time?
Yeah.
And then kind of like seed your content that way. Yeah. And then for anyone who's read, have you read Donald Miller's Story Brand? I assume you have.
Big fan.
All right. So Donald Miller talks about the external problem, the internal problem, and the philosophical problem. So like you can talk about the external problem, like contractors don't show up on time. Okay, people know that. You can take that a step deeper, and the internal problem to like a homeowner or a property owner is, man, how it's so frustrating when I have to rearrange my schedule because a contractor says he's going to show up on Wednesday and he doesn't, and he shows up at a random time on Thursday without calling. Like, isn't that frustrating? And then you can take that a step deeper and go philosophical, and you could say, as a homeowner, you should not have to babysit your contractor.
Yes, right? I love that.
So that takes it a level deeper, and like you want to get those homeowners thinking like, Tim, you're right. Like, I should not have to babysit this guy. He's a grown adult. Like, he runs a business. And then you can position yourself as the opposite of that. Like, hey,
I love that.
Thank you.
That's so good because, like, I love anything that's like you shouldn't have to, or those are always so good because you can get somebody like having an emotional response to that ad or that piece of content. Like, it's such a beautiful spot to start. The other sentence of like, it's just plain wrong that, just anything that you can position in that kind of framing. It's the same with like, what is it? There's one that's like, you deserve, just the vibe of you deserve this. Like,
yeah.
Like, and with contractors, I always say like, it's just plain wrong that that lower quality contractors are showing up above you on Google. Like, so I think that's a very emotional response, and like they feel that feels real. And I think it's just a really good spot to start with ad copy or content. It's so brilliant, bro.
It is, yeah, and I think both those phrases, like you shouldn't have to, or it's just plain wrong. I think those both come from Donald Miller,
Yeah.
and I mean, he's for anyone who hasn't read that book, like amazing book.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I've read it like 3 times. Like I'm making all of our team read it. It's just it's crazy. It just I think when you read it, it's like yes, it just feels good. He has another one. I don't know. Have you checked out Business Made Simple yet?
I have not gotten the book, but I invested in his Business Made Simple
Nice,
University
nice,
about actually earlier this year, and it's really good.
nice.
It's solid.
Yeah. All right, let's get to number 2, lack of conversion. Problem with
All right, so
Facebook ads. Let's talk through how we can address this.
yeah, so this is the one that I'll raise my hand. We were guilty of last week. So we have our ads guy. He's like, "Hey Joe, let's try out this new strategy with our Facebook ads for Contractor Dynamics." And I'm like, "Boom, that sounds great. Let's do it." Had a busy week. Went to Orlando to the Roofing Process Conference. It was on me as one of my hats as marketing manager. It was on me to set up the conversion, basically to make sure that we're getting our leads from Facebook and they're getting to our sales guys' phones or email, into our CRM or email inboxes. And basically, we were spending all this money and generating leads, and they were just sitting in this Google sheet, and no one was getting notified that we had new leads. So it wasn't until we started the campaign on Sunday. It wasn't until Thursday that I said to Alex, one of our sales guys, I was like, "Alex, here's a spreadsheet of these leads that came in through this week. You mind just hitting the phones and contacting these people and seeing if you can connect with any of them?" So he did. Of course, half of them didn't answer, and we're still kind of chasing them down. So
Question for
that's
you. Is there if we dive into your strategy for a second? Because like you do have automation on the back end of this too, though. There's like follow-ups and like Calendly and stuff like that, right?
stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah. So,
I don't know.
yeah,
I guess I'm maturing as a person. I'm trying to say last. I guess I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, we use Calendly, Pipedrive, Active Campaign, Zapier, all that stuff,
It's
and
not
we
like
do
you
have all
didn't
that.
get any kind of like initial follow-up, right? Like there's some kind of like automation on the back end of it.
Yeah, I mean, we have that pretty buttoned up, but this is a brand new strategy for us, and it
And you
just
didn't get it, yeah.
it would have taken an hour of just tweaking a few automations, and I didn't do it. So yeah.
Have you experimented at all with like Calendly or something like that on contractor sites? I will say we did it for ourselves and we saw our conversion rate go down, but we had yeah, so I'm suggesting not to do it right now, but I do like it on the second step. Like so after they submit a form, kind of try to get them to schedule in.
Yeah, so like what Tim is talking about is like you can, have your you can run ads, whether it's Google, Facebook, or whatever, and you can, or even just on your website organically, I guess, and have people fill out a form and request an appointment, and then you follow up from there.
Yeah.
Or you can have like a Calendly embed right on your website or landing page, and people can go straight to appointment. So we do have a couple clients doing that, and that sounds sexy. That sounds like anything you could automate, great. However, you got to consider like if that fits into your business operationally, right? You don't want to wake up tomorrow and someone from an hour away with a small, project request, like schedule an appointment on your calendar, right?
Yeah,
So,
I think it has to be more of like an intro call style thing, which may not work for your business.
Yeah, you can do that, but there is some, I don't have the stats or the data behind it, but like when someone is scheduling an appointment, they're more bought into you, they're more committed to you than if they're just filling out a lead form. So there's definitely something to be said of that. Yeah.
All right. So, but it's all about that speed to lead. Basically, you're saying like, if you are getting this lead, make sure you're on the tail end, able to convert that into an appointment somehow, some way, whatever that happens to be for you, getting that.
Yeah. Like, so here's like a goal for everyone. Like if you can respond to all leads within 5 minutes, 24/7, 365, then that's a huge goal to have. And it doesn't need to be manually. So I always use the example, lead comes in at 11 o'clock tonight. You're not going to call that person. If you're like me, you're not even awake to get that lead, but you want to make sure that you have like a text message, email going out. So if Tim is the prospect, hey Tim, Joe here from Contractor Dynamics. Just want to let you know we received your info. We'll be calling you promptly to schedule your appointment. In the meantime, please click this link to learn more about our process and to see some other property owners that we've already worked with and helped with their roof. So basically, keeping them warm until you can get to the phones. That's huge.
One thing I like doing on ours that I have is like a little GIF. It's a GIF of a video with the play button over it. And it draws them in to be more likely to press the play button and then get the full video that's like what to expect on the call or like on the initial appointment. It's like one way to like send that out via email that could keep it warm longer. Because then if they do take 1 minute and watch that video, the short video about what's going to be on the appointment, they're just more likely to be available and kind of like imagine themselves actually following through.
Exactly. They're more bought in. I'm going to steal that. I like that. Yeah. Cause it's not easy to embed video in automated text messages.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I just do a GIF and do the first like 3 seconds of the video. And then I put a play button over there with Photoshop. Just a nice. It's kind of a good look.
I'm writing that down in my trusty little notebook here. So thank you.
All right. So let's go with number 3, not understanding the data. Why is that a big problem with
so it's almost impossible to do advertising without understanding and looking at the data, right? So marketing is testing, and I as a marketer, I should be up here telling you that, hey, follow our process and you'll be killing it. Your ads will dominate every time forever. But that's not the case, right? Some marketing campaigns are going to work, some aren't. Some might work just okay. Some might really kill it, but you got to understand like the data, what's going on. So like literally today, just before this call, we were on a group call with our clients, going through like the different data points and like what to look at as far as click-through rate and impressions and cost per lead and cost per click and all that stuff, so that you can look at your campaigns and you can say, okay, this one's working pretty well, we're going to keep it running, or this one's working okay, but people are dropping off at this point, so we're going to make some adjustments here. This campaign is kind of bombing right now, so we're going to maybe relaunch it or maybe just scrap it and start from scratch. So you got to be able to understand that. And that's not to say that everyone watching or listening to this needs to like be in Facebook Ads Manager themselves. If you are working with an outside agency or a marketer, that's completely cool. At least you have the knowledge on how to collaborate with that marketer, so you can sit down together, whether it's in person or virtually, and look at that data and say like, hey, Tim, like what's going on with this campaign? It's bombing, or, how can we improve these things? I see that our cost per click is like super high. Like, how can we fix that? So it gives you power when you understand the basics. It gives you power to be able to call out, the marketer that you're working with and be like, hey man, like, how can we improve this? So that's huge.
I love it. I really appreciate you going through those. So let's just recap. Low lead quality is a big one. 2, lack of conversions. 3, not understanding the data. And you said, basically, whether it's you or somebody else running these things, it's usually a combination of these things. Any other just kind of miscellaneous things that you found that kind of need to be addressed on Facebook campaigns as you see people that maybe they're spending their first, hey man, I've spent $20,000, $30,000. I still don't feel like I've mastered this. So let's say their first, whatever, 5K of Facebook ads. And they're just kind of like wondering why it's not working yet. Help those people here kind of understand where they should, hammer next.
One of the biggest things we see is that people are going way too broad and generic with their messaging. So think about for a second, like you're scrolling through, you're flicking through your phone, social media at a mile a minute. What gets you to stop scrolling and pay attention? It's usually something that's specific to you, right? It might be your local area. It might be if you're into CrossFit or running or guitar, whatever. It's something that's specific to you. So we gotta be the same way with our market. So we had a client earlier this year, maybe even last year. He came to us and he was working with a marketing agency that was running their Facebook ads. This guy owns a roofing company in Indianapolis. And he was like, these guys, our ad spend is $5,000 a month. And basically they're targeting the marketing company was targeting the entire Indianapolis area and not getting anything. So he's a month and a half in, $7,500 in ad spend in, plus the management fee, with zero results at all. And their ad took a look at their ads and they're just like super generic, right? Just like everyone else is offering. So our philosophy and what's worked for our clients is like a guy like that will say, hey, don't try to target the entire like Indianapolis area. Pick a couple towns or parts of town or suburbs, whatever, and get specific with your messaging, like Fishers, Indiana, instead of Indianapolis. Get super specific with that and prove your campaign at $30 a day, $40 a day, get it working. And then you can expand from there. Then you can double down from there. It's not, if you're a roofing company, contracting company owner, don't let a marketing agency tell you like, hey, what we need to do at first is we need to spend a whole bunch of money to test a whole bunch of things out. That's an indication that they don't know what they're doing and they're going to be testing on your dime. They should have a proven process and they should say, hey, Tim, this is our process. We should get this campaign running here in this local area. And then we can, get a proof of concept. We know what messaging works. Then we're going to expand it from there. So that's a huge thing that everyone can benefit from.
I mean, it's hard to scale this. Like, it's hard to do this for all the contractors. So I'm not doing it for you, but I do love the idea of like when you're, like I always do with videos with our contractor in Minneapolis, like that I like doing the like walking down the street ones. We're like in your area right now, we're doing roof inspections and then maybe showing a couple landmarks, like kind of unique for that area. And I'm big on the like, keep it tight. Everything, your brand is so much easier to build if you chose 3 suburbs instead of going after, like you're saying, like keeping it tight and really hammering with multiple different types of marketing. Like, and then obviously if your trucks are around that area, I don't know, this is my thing, is your trucks are circling that city all the time. Of course your ads are going to be more effective. Like it's all the brand stuff. It's just like, I know you guys, like if you can be that, I know you guys, like I really hammer brand. It's all your marketing together though, hammering certain locations. I really believe in that.
Yes. And can I share a quick example of that, Tim?
Yes, please.
So this morning, my wife and I are walking. We have a new puppy and we're walking the puppy. So there's about a block from us, there's the river by us. And so we're walking down there and our friend owns this house on the river. They live there and they're building basically like a boathouse kind of thing to store their kayaks and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it looked really nice. And the contractor was there. We, shook his hand and met him because we're friends with Jamie, the homeowner. And this guy, Bob, he's, older gentleman in his 60s. And like this boathouse is like, it's wood shake. It's got a standing seam metal roof. It's wood shake. It's got some copper accents. Like it's really well done. Mm-hmm. And I get the feeling that this guy is, he's good. He doesn't need to do advertising. He's put in his work to where he's got plenty of business. But if he wanted to, or if he was a younger contractor looking to grow, like very simple thing that he could do is just shoot a video. Hey, we're down here, Jamie's house. We're building this boathouse. Here's what's going on. These are the types of things that we specialize in. So if anyone in this area needs help with like smaller projects or, handyman type stuff, then feel free to reach out or whatever. And that's super simple. Like in our neighborhood of like 500 houses, he could probably pick up 10 jobs right away just from a simple video like that.
And sometimes the selfie video is better. Sometimes the vibe of like, oh, we didn't do a big video production for this. I am your friendly neighborhood contractor vibe works better. So definitely like experiment with that. Experiment with the like handheld chill. I don't know why those ones do better, but it's crazy. Sometimes they do. So
yeah, we can all relate to that. It's just relatable. Like everyone's scared of, most people are scared of getting on camera. So you can even get on and be like, oh man, I'm not really sure how to do this, but I want to try to shoot a video of this project and, just be like real transparent about it. And just like, people do business with people. So don't hide behind trying to be too like buttoned up and professional.
I feel like sometimes the only reason why, like, if you've done this a lot, you have an advantage is because people start to let go of the like pretense around shooting video. Like you start to be yourself a little bit more on video. So like anything you can do to try to just be yourself and be relaxed and make jokes and just act like you do in person. Like if you can do that on these videos, it's so much better. Like it's crazy how much more people will just relate and just want to work with you than if you're kind of like, I always use like the like corporate vibe. Like you're not a corporation. You can relax. You know, you don't have to use formal language on your videos. Don't use formal, like just be a friend. Like, how would you say this to a friend? It's going to help, I feel like, a lot.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. That's so important. Yeah, absolutely.
Joseph, can I ask a couple questions? Just in general, like curiosity wise about Joseph Hughes, and then you can tell me if you want me to cut him out or not.
Yeah, sure.
Um, I know you used to have an agency like mine that's a little bit more like services. So, what drew you towards this model of education instead of offering just like as much of like, I guess, the same model as I currently have? Curious.
Yeah, so I started Contractor Dynamics early 2013, and for 7 years we ran the full service agency. We did websites and Facebook ads and SEO and like
Very
all.
beautiful websites, by the way. Like your websites are good. And it's like
Oh,
I've seen
thanks.
a couple and I'm like, dang, these are like almost like Hook agency level websites. No, they're like really good. Like I was like serious.
They're not Hook agency. They're good. I
No,
know
there
they're.
was one. I was like, this is better than some of the stuff we do. I was like, Jesus, who did this? And I looked down at the bottom and I was like, Contractor Dynamics. Like this guy stopped doing these websites. It's weird.
Yeah, we actually had a really good process around building them, and pretty, it was pretty efficient, pretty profitable, but just whatever. We switched over business models. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, so we did all of that, and so there are a couple of reasons for transitioning. Number one, with doing Facebook ads for clients, like the things I just went through, the ability to convert leads into appointments, like that's a huge thing that not a lot of like contracting companies have set up the right way.
Mhm.
So in order to like the best marketing agencies that are like running ads for clients, they take that process a little bit further, and they'll like basically almost qualify that lead for the sales team for their
Mm.
client,
Yeah.
where to the point where they're tracking every single call. They are, maybe I know agencies that are even listening in on phone calls to judge the quality of them and whatnot. And so I had a business partner at the time. His name was Tim as well. And he and I sat down. We're like, yeah, if we want to go to the next level of this agency, then we're gonna need to like build out a team and do all that. And I personally did not want to manage like a whole big team.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go in that direction. And then the other thing, and really more
I
important
can't
too,
imagine why. I can't. No, I'm just kidding. It's stressful.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's about me. But the
Yeah.
more important part about the market is that we were, and this goes into like what we've been talking about this whole episode, is that we would be running ads for roofing companies, and there's several clients that were getting great results, and those are the ones that were like doing video, they're getting photos, they're sharing some of their own content, they're collaborating with us to do good marketing, and those clients killed it. And then there were a whole bunch of other clients that like they didn't want to be bothered, right? They just wanted to pay us to make their phone ring and make magic happen. And really, like back in 2016, 2017, even getting into 2018, that stuff kind of, you could do that, right? You get away with it. Like we'd run ads for roofers in Dallas and do really well with some generic stuff. But nowadays, like, you have more people online, you have more roofing companies online doing social media advertising. You have to be doing some of this stuff in house. Like
Mhm.
you can't just put out some generic stuff and expect results.
Yeah.
So we actually develop some training content to help our clients be better clients. Like, hey Tim, I want you to go out and shoot a video of the next job that you're doing. Here's a step-by-step process on like
Yeah.
how to do a video. And so we started developing this training library, and then kind of light bulb. We're like, well, what if what if we just package this up and like basically sell our briefcase of, knowledge and intellectual property to the market. And so we made that transition. And so for our client, for the roofing companies that we work with, like it's much more valuable for them to do this stuff on their own, even if they're not like over half of our clients that we train, they still work with outside agencies on, Google Ads and some technical things. But, at their core, they have the ability to produce content, go out and shoot videos, work with their marketing company. And, moving forward, like that's what's really valuable. So
what, once again, I can edit this out if you want, but who do you really send the people that want SEO done for them and websites? Who do you really send them to? Like, I'm curious, and be honest with me. It's okay. I know it's not us, but who do you send them to, and why do you send them to those people? I'm going to let you advertise somebody else on my podcast because I want to know.
I appreciate you calling me out, and I'm not BSing you. I don't have any go-to. I don't like, so websites, man. I mean, I don't know if you probably don't want them, but we're still managing like 40 hosting 40 websites, I think. I'm trying to get them off my plate by the end of the year.
We have a website maintenance product that's like $300 a month, and we're not like, we don't have a big, like, we're not trying to host, like, we're not trying to make our money on hosting per se. It's funny, some agencies like literally like bank on that because it's like $30 for them and then whatever. But we do a little bit of maintenance, a couple hours of maintenance within that, and plug-in updates and stuff like that. So that's something. But yeah, so you do some, but as far as like website design and SEO stuff, you're just like, I don't know, these people all suck.
I mean, I'm trying to, I guess not as many people ask me anymore for
that stuff.
I can't remember it. I'm being honest with you. I don't know.
It's
like,
okay.
My thing is like, I want to be 100% confident. So to be transparent with you, like,
okay,
I know you're probably in the $25,000 range for a website. Like, look at Roofing Process Conference. Like those guys, and prove me wrong. Like,
$1,500 a month, by the way. Like, because we do it over a year, so $1,500 a month. $1,500 a month for a website. So it ends up being like 17 something. But
all right, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So that makes it better. But I'm like, I know I've seen Josh's website, like North Face, like it's badass. But I'm like, man, these guys are they like, you say 20 something.
I have a little bit of a hard time fully explaining the value on those things. Like, it's just, hey, you know what it really comes down to? I want to do really good work. Like, I'm obsessed with doing really good work. So I'll literally take the L to not do cheap shit, basically. So we take it on the chin occasionally, but then we'll have like randomly, it'll be like 7 people that are all like, we'll pay the $17K or whatever. So we get them in just like big waves, and then like, but we figure it out. But it's just basically, I want to do really good work. I don't want to do one shitty website because I don't want it to be associated with our brand. Because I literally am trying to be the best roofing SEO company on the planet. And
go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
And so that's kind of like, I don't want anything associated with us that's not like top tier, basically. So that's why we don't do cheap websites, even though you can. I could roll out a theme and like for $3,000 and it would take me 2 days and it would be profitable and everything. But I just can't bring myself to not do something that's like not top tier at this point, because I really want us to be the best in the world at that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I get it. Like, that's why when you were saying like to me, like, oh, your websites are really good. Ours were like about $5,000, and like I know they're not the best in the world.
That's like $10,000 in 2022 money. So
yeah. So yeah, exactly. So like we found a sweet spot where it wasn't too much of a hard sell, and we could produce a good a good website, knowing that our clients are getting something that they own, that they have control over. But yeah, I have all the respect in the world for that, like being the best. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's talk about that again. Like I don't really remember the last time it's come up. I mean, it might come up more with our sales guys, Dan and Alex, but like I'm not really having those conversations with clients.
It's totally good. long game, bro. Eventually Joseph Hughes will know to say Hook Agency, but if it's not yet, it's not yet. I haven't earned it yet. So, but ultimately there are other awesome, I do hear good things about Height Digital with like, I always see him in the comments. There's a couple other people I see in the comments, and we refer people out to roofer marketers, roofer marketing. I think roofer marketers. Sometimes they're at Roofing Process. We refer people out, but yeah, it's hard to know always. We don't know that much about these companies, so it's hard. It's but
that's my thing. Like, you stick your neck out, you make a recommendation, you want to have 100% confidence in that. And
we've been doing.
Not that I don't have confidence in you. That's been my thing. Like, that price point. But now that it's like kind of over a year, I get it. So have a client, Dimitri, for Roofing Insights. We've been doing his SEO for 2 years, 2 years of 50% increase in organic growth. And he still is like, when I suggest people like really blatantly, it's weird because if for some reason they have a bad experience, and people have had bad experiences with us, oh my God, there's been times he has a hard time doing a hard suggestion for companies. And I understand, I get it. It's a lot, but at the same time, there's enough and this is a long tail end of this podcast, so I might trim it, but there's a lot of shittier companies. There's a lot of shitty companies out there. So to help people avoid that, knowing something about a company is really good. So I'm going to trim now. So I'm going to end the podcast. And then I just want to show you one thing. So anyways, Joseph, thank you so much. How can people get a hold of you if they want to work with you on improving their Facebook ads? So appreciate it, Tim. Go to contractordynamics.com. That's our website. From there, you can link out to all our social channels. We are publishing content daily, YouTube, podcasts, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So check out some educational content there and learn some more about what we're talking about today. And feel free to reach out if you want some hands-on help with that stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Joseph. And it's hookagency.com. Hook Agency all over social. And thank you for joining us, watching, and listening. Bye.